The Dow rising to another record high Wednesday afternoon. Time to get inside the markets and the economy with Ross Gerber. He's CEO of Gerber Kawasaki in Santa Monica, California. Welcome back, Ross.
Thanks for having me, Fred.
Well, Ross, consumer prices rose further in July, albeit at a slower pace. Used vehicle prices, what had been really driving that index higher since April, inched up just 0.2% this time in July. Do you think inflation has peaked?
Well, I mean, inflation always goes up over time. I think what we're talking about is the rapid increase in prices. I do think has peaked, and now with the Delta variant slowing the economy to some degree, I think that acts as almost like a rate hike in some ways. But when you go out here in the West Coast, it is busy. It is packed last weekend, so the economy is still just bursting at the seams. So very, very positive on economic growth. But I do think things like used vehicle prices and energy prices that had really driven inflation have probably peaked, especially energy prices. So we never thought inflation was going to be a long-term problem, and we still don't think it's a long-term problem. I think the bigger long-term risk is slower growth, not inflation.
Well, Ross, on another subject, you buy cryptocurrencies on behalf of your clients.
Right.
So I just want to get your thoughts on this. Hackers broke into the peer-to-peer platform, Poly Networks, stealing about $600 million in digital coins. From your perspective, is regulation necessary to fix the vulnerabilities in the system?
Well, regulation has never fixed a vulnerability per se. Regulations are usually reactive to vulnerabilities that happen, that then they want to create rules to protect investors. And certainly the crypto industry has had one hack after the next. I mean, so if you go back into the development of Bitcoin, we had the Mt. Gox hack, which was a precursor to much better exchange protections and securities over the following 5 years after the hack. And so, DeFi and many of these crypto ideas are very new and super high risk. And this is the risk. See, people just don't understand that they're sending their money into digital tokens that can just disappear. And that's what's happened here. And so there's a huge premium in my mind in securing your money. And that's what we did at my firm in working with Gemini, was to try to create the most secure and safest place for people to invest in cryptocurrencies that we consider the most stable and most likely to succeed over time, but also in a way that protects their assets from theft. And we've spent a tremendous amount of time working on solutions as well as insurance to protect investors from theft. And this is one of the big risks of crypto in general. So when you have immature systems like DeFi, you're going to get criminals and you're going to get hacking.
Ross, what would be your advice to individual investors who say, I want to buy some crypto assets? How should they go about it?
Well, first of all, I'd say go about it by contacting a firm like mine that can help you do this, especially if you have no experience, because crypto has things that other investment firm accounts don't have, like you can just lose your money and there's no recourse. Even when we transfer assets into our accounts, the process is very, very handheld and mechanical to make sure each step is done correctly so there isn't a mistake. There's no recovering from mistakes. So crypto is for, I think, people who have a little more tech experience, and that's why we've been helping our clients do this in a safe manner. But for a new investor who doesn't want to work with somebody like us, going through a company like Coinbase makes sense, or Square Cash, which I think Square is a very easy way for people to buy Bitcoin, control and own their Bitcoin, and download an app that's secure. And I think they do it in a very easy and safe manner. So there's options for investors, but I would argue that crypto is the wild, wild west of finance, and there's an extra risk to that, and there's an extra reward to that. And so beware, if you think this is a safe place to keep your money, you're wrong. It's high risk and high reward.
All right. Thanks for that advice, Ross. Our thanks to Ross Gerber of Gerber Kawasaki. I'm Fred Katayama in New York. This is Reuters.